I mean, we've been speculating about this for a long time. It's very hard to say. He's been very careful not to be a lame duck, not to name a successor. Every time a younger person's name comes up and people say, wow, this person could maybe succeed Putin, then their kind of name disappears. They don't disappear. So we don't know whether there's a succession plan. And if there
Yeah.
isn't a succession plan, then it could get quite nasty.
Casey Michael over at Politico. Paul, 5 scenarios for Russia after Putin's next term.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
maybe there's 6 or 7.
yeah, exactly. Dr. Stent, where do you believe President Trump is in his engagement with what's happening in Ukraine here? He's initially, it looked like he was pretty positive that he would be able to affect some change here and get some peace here, but I'm not sure about it right now. Where do you think he is?
So I think he's increasingly frustrated by the fact that Putin, in fact, is not interested in serious negotiations. Every time they have a conversation, as President Trump has said, it's a great conversation, and then the Russians bomb more civilian targets in Ukraine. They're bombing their energy infrastructure. They're trying to make sure Ukrainians don't have any heat or light in the upcoming winter. So I think he's realized that Putin is not willing to really engage with him. I think Secretary Rubio has realized that too, and that's why he apparently dissuaded the president from trying to meet Putin in Budapest. So really, everything's at a standstill now. The war is grinding on, but we're no nearer a peace settlement than we were in January of this year.
Well, the synthesis at the American Enterprise Institute, then, just as a general statement, Dr. Stent, is American money sent to Ukraine? Is that money well spent right now?
Well, at the moment, there isn't much American money going to Ukraine, right? There is no appropriation for next year. The money that was sent was still a holdover from the Biden administration. So it's the Europeans who are buying American weapons now and then sending them to Ukraine. Was it well spent? Well, it's enabled the Ukrainians to push back so far, but they're going to need a lot more going into next year to continue to push back the Russians.
Sanctions. We've been hearing about sanctions for years. Is there any effectiveness that we can measure on sanctions? Is there any red line that maybe the Western nations could cross to really impose pain upon Putin and the economy?
So I think these new sanctions that the US announced a couple of weeks ago on the two major oil companies in Russia, Rosneft and Lukoil, if they are properly enforced, if we go after the shadow fleet that's transporting a lot of the Russian oil to third countries and then re-exporting it to India and to China, places like that, if those are properly enforced, then I think it would have an impact. So far, none of the sanctions have been really rigorously enforced. So that's really
Right.
what we have to watch for. Yeah.